Have you ever felt like an outsider in your own life? Like you're watching the world through a different lens than everyone else? It's not just in your head. There's a profound reason why some of us feel this magnetic pull away from crowds, away from the ordinary. You see, if you're experiencing this, you might be carrying a gift that most people don't understand. Today, we're going to unlock the mystery behind why certain individuals, the ones who are meant for something greater, often find themselves stepping back from the masses. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why you feel this way, but you'll also realize it's one of your greatest strengths. Think about the last time you walked into a crowded space. Perhaps it was a shopping mall during the holiday season, or maybe a busy restaurant on a Friday night. Did you feel that immediate shift in your energy? That overwhelming sensation that goes far beyond just the noise and the chaos? There's something deeper happening here, something that most people around you don't even register. Your spiritual sensitivity isn't just operating on a different level, it's operating in an entirely different dimension. While others are simply experiencing the physical world around them, you're tapping into layers of reality that most people don't even know exist. It's like being given a pair of special glasses that allow you to see not just the surface of the ocean, but every current, every creature, and every subtle movement happening in its depths. This heightened awareness isn't just about feeling more emotional or being more intuitive. It's about having a spiritual nervous system that's so finely tuned it picks up on the subtlest shifts in the universal energy field. When you walk into a room, you're not just sensing the physical presence of others, you're experiencing their spiritual fingerprint, their emotional residue, their unspoken thoughts, and even the lingering energies of those who were there before. Imagine standing in the middle of Times Square. But instead of just seeing the billboards and hearing the traffic, you're simultaneously aware of every person's life story, every joy, every pain, every hope, and every fear swirling around you. That's what your spiritual sensitivity is doing all the time. It's not just picking up surface-level energy, it's reading the entire spiritual manuscript of every soul in your vicinity. This leads us to understand something profound about why being in crowded places affects you so deeply. Every human being is constantly emanating spiritual energy. Think of it like a wireless signal that's always broadcasting. Most people's spiritual receivers are set to pick up only the strongest signals, like a radio that only catches the major stations. But your spiritual receiver, it's picking up every frequency, every wavelength, every subtle variation in the spiritual atmosphere. When you're in a crowded space, you're not just standing in a room full of bodies. You're standing in an ocean of spiritual frequencies. Each person around you is broadcasting their own unique spiritual signal. Some are transmitting joy, others are radiating worry. Some are sending out waves of peace, while others are unconsciously projecting their inner turmoil. And you, with your heightened sensitivity, are receiving all of these broadcasts simultaneously. This is why a simple trip to the grocery store can leave you feeling completely drained. Your spirit is essentially running a massive processing operation, sorting through countless spiritual signals, emotional frequencies, and energetic imprints. It's like trying to run 100 computer programs at once. Even the most powerful system would need time to cool down. But here's where this story takes an extraordinary turn. Your spiritual sensitivity isn't a random quirk of existence or some cosmic accident. It's a divinely orchestrated design, carefully crafted for a purpose that goes beyond ordinary human experience. Think of yourself as a spiritual lighthouse, equipped with advanced sensing equipment that allows you to detect things that others miss in the spiritual fog. In the grand tapestry of existence, certain souls are chosen to serve as spiritual sensors for humanity. Just as ancient navigators used the stars to guide their ships, your heightened awareness serves as a navigation system for the collective consciousness. You're able to detect spiritual storms before they hit, sense shifts in the energetic atmosphere, and pick up on subtle changes in the universal frequency that others might miss entirely. This gift of spiritual sensitivity isn't just about personal experience. It's about serving a greater purpose in the universal plan. When you feel overwhelmed by crowds, when you need to retreat to solitude, when you find yourself picking up on energies that others can't sense, you're not just experiencing personal discomfort. You're fulfilling a crucial role in the spiritual ecosystem. Let's talk about something that most spiritual teachers won't tell you. The real reason why being around crowds feels so overwhelming for chosen ones. It's not just about energy sensitivity. It's about your soul's natural resistance to lower vibrational frequencies. Think of your spiritual essence like pure spring water. When you're surrounded by hundreds of people, each carrying their own energetic debris, it's like watching that clear water being challenged by various elements trying to mix with it. This is why you might find yourself unconsciously seeking higher ground, both literally and metaphorically. Your spirit naturally gravitates towards spaces and places where it can maintain its pure frequency. That quiet coffee shop in the corner of town, that hidden park that few people know about, that early morning hour when the world is still asleep. These aren't just preferences, they're spiritual necessities. But here's what makes this truly fascinating. Your need for solitude isn't about weakness. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Just as a master painter needs a clean canvas to create their masterpiece, your spirit needs clear space to operate at its highest potential. When you honor this need, you're not hiding from the world, you're preparing to serve it more powerfully. Now, let's dive into something even deeper. The real reason why chosen ones often feel uncomfortable in large groups. It's not just about the energy exchange we talked about earlier. There's a hidden mechanism at play, one that's rarely discussed in spiritual circles. Your spirit, in its advanced state of awareness, is actually engaging in what we might call frequency filtering. Every time you're in a crowd, your spiritual system is actively sorting through countless energetic frequencies. It's like having a sophisticated spiritual filtration system that's constantly working to maintain your connection to higher consciousness. This is why you might feel physically exhausted after being in crowded places. Your spirit is literally working overtime to maintain its natural frequency. But here's what makes this process so demanding. Unlike others who might unconsciously absorb and mirror the energies around them, your spirit is actively resistant to lowering its frequency. This resistance, while protective, requires enormous spiritual energy. It's like trying to maintain a specific radio frequency while driving through areas with strong interference. It requires constant adjustment and energy expenditure. This brings us to a revolutionary understanding about your role as a chosen one. Your sensitivity to crowds isn't a limitation. It's actually a sign of your spiritual advancement. In ancient spiritual texts, there are countless references to advanced souls needing periods of isolation. Even the greatest spiritual teachers throughout history often retreated from crowds to maintain their connection to higher consciousness. Think about it. When you're in a crowd, you're not just dealing with physical bodies and verbal conversations. You're navigating through layers of unresolved trauma, unconscious emotional patterns, and spiritual blockages that most people carry without awareness. Your spirit, being highly evolved, naturally detects these distortions in the collective energy field. This awareness isn't meant to isolate you. It's meant to help you understand where healing is needed. Let's explore something that most spiritual guides overlook: the divine protection mechanism built into your sensitivity. Have you noticed how your body and spirit seem to instinctively know when it's time to leave a crowded space? That's not anxiety or social discomfort. It's your internal divine GPS working exactly as it should. Think of it as a sophisticated spiritual warning system, carefully calibrated to protect your unique frequency. When you feel that overwhelming urge to step away from crowds, your spirit isn't being antisocial. It's actually responding to ancient wisdom coded into your spiritual DNA. This is similar to how certain precious instruments must be kept in specific conditions to maintain their calibration. Your sensitivity isn't a weakness that needs to be overcome. It's a sophisticated protection mechanism ensuring you can fulfill your purpose without spiritual interference. But here's what makes this truly remarkable. This divine protection system isn't just about keeping you comfortable. It's actually preserving your ability to serve in your highest capacity. Just as a surgeon needs to maintain a sterile environment to perform delicate operations, your spirit needs to maintain certain energetic conditions to carry out its divine mission. Now let's delve into something that might completely shift your perspective about needing time alone. Your requirement for solitude isn't just about recharging. It's actually about maintaining a direct connection to source energy. Think of it like a satellite dish that needs clear sky access to receive its signals. When you're alone, you're not just getting peace and quiet, you're actually entering a sacred state where divine downloads can occur uninterrupted. This is why you might find yourself craving solitude after being in crowded places. Your spirit isn't being antisocial. It's actually seeking to realign with its pure frequency. In these moments of sacred solitude, something profound is happening. Your spiritual system is not just resting, it's actively recalibrating, receiving divine guidance, and preparing for its next phase of service. The wisdom traditions have always known this truth. Every major spiritual teacher throughout history had periods of isolation, not because they were avoiding people, but because they understood the necessity of maintaining a clear channel to divine wisdom. Your need for solitude places you in this ancient lineage of spiritual adepts who recognized the power of sacred isolation. Here's something that will transform how you view your sensitivity forever. Your natural aversion to crowds is actually protecting something far greater than personal comfort. You're safeguarding your role as a spiritual transmitter. Just as certain radio frequencies must be kept clear of interference to broadcast important messages, your spirit must maintain its clear frequency to transmit higher wisdom to those who need it. This is why you might find yourself naturally gravitating toward one-to-one interactions or small groups. In these settings, your gift can operate at its optimal capacity. You're able to fully focus your spiritual energy on those who are meant to receive it, without the interference of countless competing frequencies. This isn't a limitation, it's actually an optimization of your divine purpose. This is where things get truly extraordinary. Your heightened sensitivity to crowds isn't just about protection or preservation, it's actually a gateway to spiritual mastery. Most people spend their entire lives trying to develop even a fraction of the sensitivity you naturally possess. What they don't realize is that this gift comes with a sacred responsibility, and that's exactly what we're going to explore now. When you understand how to work with this sensitivity instead of against it, something remarkable happens. You begin to recognize that your need for space isn't about withdrawal. It's about strategic spiritual positioning. Think of yourself as a spiritual lighthouse. A lighthouse doesn't move into the middle of a busy harbor. It stands apart, precisely where it can offer the most guidance and light to those who need it. This understanding transforms everything. Those moments when you feel the need to step back from crowds become opportunities for spiritual elevation. In these spaces of sacred separation, you're not just avoiding overwhelming energy, you're actually positioning yourself exactly where you need to be to fulfill your divine purpose. Here's something that will radically shift your perspective about being different from the crowd. Your natural tendency to seek solitude and avoid large gatherings isn't a quirk of personality, it's actually evidence of divine alignment. Just as certain rare elements remain pure by naturally resisting mixture with common elements, your spirit maintains its power by naturally resisting immersion in lower frequencies. This divine alignment is what allows you to serve as a pure channel for higher wisdom. When you honor your need for space and solitude, you're not being difficult or antisocial. You're actually maintaining the precise conditions necessary for your spiritual gift to operate at its highest potential. This is why forced integration into crowd situations feels so unnatural. It's like trying to tune a precise instrument in the middle of a storm. Now, let's explore something truly transformative. How your spiritual sensitivity isn't just about your own journey, it's actually a powerful gift meant to help others. Think of yourself as a spiritual tuning fork, capable of helping others find their true frequency in a world full of dissonant noise. Your ability to sense and understand deeper energies isn't just for your protection, it's a tool for profound healing and guidance. When you interact with someone one-on-one, your sensitivity allows you to perceive exactly what they need, even when they can't express it themselves. You can feel the weight of their unspoken burdens, sense the light of their hidden potential, and understand the true nature of their spiritual struggles. This isn't just empathy, it's divine insight. Consider how a master musician can hear subtle variations in tone that others miss. Your spiritual sensitivity works in much the same way. You can detect the subtle variations in someone's energy field, the places where they're blocked, the areas where they're ready to grow, and the moments when they're on the verge of a breakthrough. This awareness allows you to be present for others in a way that few can manage. But here's what makes this truly extraordinary. Your sensitivity also allows you to transmit healing frequencies to others. When you're in alignment with your highest self, your mere presence can help others recalibrate their own energy. It's like being a walking meditation room, creating a space of peace and clarity wherever you go. This is why people often feel calmer, more centered, and more understood in your presence. Your gift of sensitivity also makes you a natural way-shower. You can sense the higher pathways available to others even when they're lost in the fog of everyday life. When someone is struggling to make a decision, your sensitivity allows you to feel which direction holds the highest potential for their growth. You're not just giving advice, you're sharing divine guidance that comes through your finely tuned spiritual antenna. This is why one-on-one interactions are so powerful for you. In these intimate settings, your gift can operate at its full potential. You become a clear channel for divine wisdom, able to connect with others at a soul level that transcends ordinary communication. Every private conversation becomes an opportunity for deep healing. Every personal interaction, a chance to help another soul remember their own divine nature. Your sensitivity to crowds, your need for solitude, your natural gravitation away from large gatherings, these aren't limitations. They're actually sophisticated spiritual design features carefully calibrated to ensure you can fulfill your unique purpose in this world. Think about this. While others are struggling to develop even basic spiritual awareness, you were born with an advanced spiritual navigation system already installed. This divine sensitivity you possess isn't just about feeling energy. It's about being positioned exactly where you need to be in the grand tapestry of existence. When you step away from crowds, when you seek that quiet space, when you honor your need for solitude, you're not just taking care of yourself, you're actually aligning with a power that's been searching for you since the beginning of time. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. This sensitivity of yours is evolving, growing stronger with each passing day. As the world's energy continues to shift and intensify, your unique ability to navigate these spiritual waters becomes increasingly crucial. You're not just surviving with this gift, you're being prepared for something far greater than most people could imagine. The real question isn't why you feel different from others. It's what this difference is preparing you for. Because while everyone else is learning to swim in the shallow end of spiritual awareness, you're being called to dive into depths that few have ever explored. And what you'll find in those depths, well, that's a journey that's just beginning to unfold.